What's happening, everybody? It is Slippin' Jimmy here once again for another Look Ahead show. Happy to be with you back at our regularly scheduled time at 9 p.m. Eastern. And hopefully we'll be here rest of the season, same time, same place. So great day of football. I would say definitely a lot less games because of the bye NATO with the six teams that are taking bye. Probably no game was as good as the Thursday night game. As a Steeler fan, I don't necessarily really want to talk about it, but I did bet the Browns in that game because Mike Tomlin on Thursday night games on the road, especially in division, especially against the Browns. Could have seen that one coming if you had followed this team at all. But yeah, if you're a Cowboys fan, what great afternoon for you. Commanders fan, maybe not so much. Tommy DeVito stockholder, that probably is worth maybe you might have missed your chance to sell on that already, but maybe not a bad time to still buy some Tampa Bay NFC South stock because looks like they are doing their best to still make this a race. What else? I mean, I just quick thoughts like Texans, bad loss today to Tennessee. Way too many points at 7.5 with that close. There was some steam that came in Tennessee's side on that one. Believe Denver held it off earlier today as well this afternoon. That was kind of a nice win for them in division. They really start to, I think, take a stranglehold of the division. So, anyways, happy to start getting into the slate. Let's dive in for week 13. So let's go. All right. How much money did I lose today? Actually, tremendous day for me, gambling wise, at least for NFL. Very good November. Yeah, was on Tennessee early in that one, and was also in Tampa Bay on a look ahead lines from -3. So good day for me. Hopefully, a good day for you guys. And let's see if we can try and make some money here for the upcoming week. So let's get started. We'll jump into week 13. Um, Obviously, got the Thanksgiving games that we get to look ahead for this one. So we'll start here, just kind of getting a quick glimpse of the lines that are going to be for this. Unit wise for the week, this is probably about a 4 or 5 unit week for me. Um, yeah, I mean this was a great week. Last week about maybe 2 3 units. Not sure what my overall season number is, but it's good. It's in the positive for sure. Um, yeah. In terms of just NFL in general, it's been a great year. Rough October. All right, well we'll get out of these questions after that. So 10.5 is the line. That's a little bit. Uh, hmm. So Detroit obviously is a team that has been covering big spreads that we've seen in the past few weeks. Interesting, it's 10.5, but then it's 450 on the money line. And we will see here. So two, yep. So we've got some EV that we are seeing on the money line here. We'll take a look here at Penny and just look at what the price is. 388 for the Bears. Do not have a money line price here for Bookmaker. And 10.5 here as well, and 10.5 on Bet Online. So, I mean, this is going to be a very liquid market, obviously, for the Thanksgiving games, right? Because these are all games that are going to be on an island per se. So you're going to have a lot more money. These lines are going to be some of the tightest that you're going to see probably, really, I think, all year up until at least the playoffs. So um, 10.5 does seem a little bit light to me in terms of just the way that Detroit has been playing. But at the same time, this is about as high as you could possibly sell on Detroit. So I would say, you know, 10.5 is, I don't know if I would be necessarily going to bet this one at 10.5. The under might be somewhat appealing here at 48.5. Just take a quick look. Yeah, this is about there. We are seeing 49 here on Bet Online. So, I mean, Bears money line would be kind of fun to play for this one, or that one might be dead by end of the first quarter. Who knows? So for me, probably not a play there. I do think that Detroit line probably gets bet out a little bit more though. So if you do want Detroit, you probably are best looking to buy them now. I don't see this coming across 10 for them. We got Tommy Cutlets back in Dallas here for that second game, 38.5 as the under. That also was what kind of stuck out to me right away. It's a little bit EV. As you can see, we're looking at 37.5 on Pinnacle. That's not small. I mean, that's a full point, especially when you're getting under 40, 38 on Bookmaker, and then 38 here on Bet Online. So probably the under for me. I do think that would be worth a look. No interest here on the spread, although getting the Giants at 3.5. And again, we're selling high on Dallas with their win today. So that would be, yeah. I got a lot of active chat here. That would be the play I would look at in terms of the spread on that particular game. I think, by the way, too, for Week 13, we do have, I think every team plays for this one because of it being Thanksgiving. So we'll have a lot of games to go through for this one. So Miami and Green Bay is your Thursday night cap. This was looking pretty ugly a few weeks ago with the Dolphins being 2-6. I was like, man, Thanksgiving is going to have a rough day of games, but looking a little bit more juicy here. Miami at 3.5 is, let's see, what are we looking at? Some other ones. Yeah, I was going to say that this could get down. I could easily see some Miami money coming in here. So yeah, so 3 on Bookmaker. This is 3, a soft 3 on Bet Online. I don't know if this crosses that 3, but I think if you're getting the 3.5, that's definitely interesting to me. Keep in mind, obviously, that Miami, they, in terms of their schedule and who they've played, I mean, their last 2 wins, Patriots and Raiders. I mean, these are teams that are going to be picking in the top 5 of the draft next year. The Rams win was definitely a good win, although I don't know how good or prepared the Rams were in that one. But then they did play well against Buffalo. And you can see their offense is definitely looking a lot better. I mean, since Tua's been back, I mean, you're looking at around 28, 29 a game since he's returned to the offense. And this is a Green Bay defense that I don't necessarily really trust in the passing game, although they look good today. But again, that's no Purdy today. That was a shell of San Francisco that we got in that one. So for me, I would probably say where you're going to see some of the money or that line go through is going to be probably the Miami one. All right, let's go to the Black Friday game here with the Raiders and the Chiefs. Plus 640, that sounds about right for the money line on that one. 13.5 is the spread. I personally don't know how you could ever back the Chiefs covering any spread. It's funny. I mean, look, if you look at their against the spread this year, 38%. They honestly were lucky to get out of that game at Carolina. I actually thought this was a good spot for KC coming into today. I think they're minus 10.5. Obviously there's going to be some revenge factor here for the Chiefs with the Christmas Day game last year and the Raiders coming in and upsetting them in Kansas City for that one. I mean, Raiders are definitely a dumpster fire, but Antonio Pierce has made a habit of a couple of backdoor covers this season. So To me, 13.5 would be probably where I'd be looking at. I mean, money line, I can't really get there on that one. Penny 13.5, bookmaker, yeah, -110. So uh, hard to see a ton of money coming in on the Raiders. Getting to 14.5, I mean, I don't know how much of a move that really is. So I would say Raiders, though, probably the play. Um, the over, I mean, trying not to get a little bit too reactionary to the Carolina game today. Obviously, Carolina somehow was able to score 27 points. I think that was the most points they scored all season. And, that one obviously flew over that total, but I don't know if I have enough there to see the Chiefs defense doing that again. But if you had to play a spread for me, that would be the Raiders, is as gross as that sounds. All right, so that is our Black Friday game, and then we get into the Sunday slate. So we've got Seattle and New York. So that's going to be our first game here at 1 o'clock. Jets are coming off a bye, so a lot of teams obviously coming off a bye heading into this week. Seattle, nice win again today against Arizona. I think they took the lead in the division. I know they certainly are tied with Arizona there. I just don't know about tiebreakers. 1.5. Again, I'm just kind of confused why the Jets are still getting this much respect in market. If we take a look at, yeah, so this is -1 on Penny, and that's starting to already move a little bit more towards the Seahawks there. Let me see, 1.5 on Bookmaker, so about the same thing. And we are seeing 1.5 on this one. Curious. So one thing you can do, by the way, now in Outlier is you can actually go and look at any of the lines that are available for any week that is going to be remaining. So that's one cool thing that the engineers did open up recently. Just want to see, like, what is the Jets? This is kind of a good exercise to get into if you want to see how they're power rated against other teams. So this is still a Jets team that on the road in a look ahead for week 14, under 3 to the Dolphins. And then if you take a look at a couple more weeks, Jaguars pick them. I can't really make much off of that. And oh my God. Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. I really don't get it with the Jets at this point. And nothing to me has said that this team should be favored almost in any game. So I'm going to say Seattle here probably to me would be the play. As you can see, like I said, again, if you go to Pinnacle, you'll see that Seattle is already down to -1. This could get to a pick 'em, or I think good chance that Seattle may even actually that might cross there, and Seattle might you might see kind of what happened this week with, I believe it was like Seattle and Arizona. It flipped in between, so that I think could definitely happen there. Also, think the over is kind of appealing at 42.5. If you take a look at Pinnacle, we're seeing 43 on the board there, 42. So a little bit of disagreement there, and 41.5 on Bet Online. So market is definitely not in total sync on the total, but I just would think that 42.5 seems a little bit low given the Seahawks' propensity to score and also I mean, their defenses look good for a couple weeks in a row. Great game against Arizona today, but we'll see. Still think that could be worth a look. Fun one, Arizona and Minnesota. So Arizona coming off a loss. Let's see. This one is plus EV. Let's see. So yeah, a little bit slightly plus EV on this one here. And if we take a look at the spread, Minnesota's been quite good, I feel like, against the spread this season. Yeah, 67% cover rate against the spread. Arizona, also a team that has covered the spread quite well. If you take a look at their away games so far this year, they are, we go 2024. Not great. not great against the spread. Oh, three. I'm sorry. Is it three? Yeah. Yeah, they covered here against Buffalo at 6.5, covered against San Francisco, and okay, they've been okay, I guess, on the road. So plus 3.5. If we look and just see real quick, just make sure there are no injuries that we're missing on this one because I did not see if any came out from. Yeah, so no major. Okay, so no major injuries here for either of these teams. Um, I'm tempted to take Arizona at the 3.5 there. If we look back here at where's this line sitting at? Yeah, 3.5, 3.5. Yeah, I'm gonna be shocked if there's any threes. Um, may wait on this. Minus 102 is pretty cheap. I'm not really sure, to be honest, where this one's going in terms of the market. The total here at 46.5, that kind of seems right to me. Maybe the only tea leaf, like I said, I could look at is that this is a little bit EV. And if we look kind of at just the line movement for this one, you'll see that this did open. Looks like the look ahead here was around what, 4? Yeah, so this was 4, and it's actually kind of been bumping back between 4 and 3.5. This was kind of a more significant move, I guess, that half point down. So, yeah, I think this one's just kind of like a wait because it doesn't look like there is a ton of market agreement on that one. All right, let's scroll down through here and we will check out Chargers and Falcons. So we got to go past that. When we do this stream, we will skip past the teams that are playing in the Sunday night game, and then we will skip past the ones that play in the Monday night game because obviously there could be some injuries, information that happens that will potentially dramatically change that line. So we got to move past that one. Definitely a ugly one in Colts and the Patriots. I mean, Colts have to win this, obviously, to really stay, really just be able to be relevant in the playoff picture, I think, in the AFC. So under is, I'm looking kind of here, that is a little bit showing some value. We're seeing 42 on Pinnacle. Yeah, 42.5 here on Bet Online, 42 and oh, so yeah, 42.5 on Bookmaker as well. Let me look at the Patriots. So our Patriots are tend to be more under team, more of a under team. Colts are kind of 50-50 on this. Let's look at 2024. Oh, so sorry. Okay, so Patriots have been more of an over. I'm gonna see what is the Patriots with the Drake name. So 47, 37, 22, and then 50 and 49 as your totals here. So if anything, I'm actually kind of leaning a little bit more towards the over of the 42.5, even though Pinnacle has that a little bit more juice there. I mean, I'll do a quick look at the line movement. Where did this open? So as of yesterday, this was 43. This went down. Yeah, so not a ton of movement. This is a very soft, like 42.5. I personally, if I'm betting this, I'm playing the over on this. Yeah, I mean, we'll see kind of if market does move a little bit more in that direction. Titans and the Commies, another one at 1 p.m. A lot of 1 p.m. games this upcoming week. So Tennessee, by the way, whenever you're going through Outlier for some of these opening lines, usually you're going to see a lot more of the time that the dog is going to have some EV because those are just going to be probably you're going to see some bigger prices just for some of those books trying to get a little bit more action on those teams, right? There's just not going to be quite as much volume that's going to be coming in on just bad teams for a money line price. So that's where you're typically going to see that EV sign. That's not indicative of it's necessarily always a good bet. It's just that that tends to be where you're maybe going to find some like early advantages in the week. So plus 20, sorry, 225 here. It's not big enough for me, even with the Commanders' recent struggles. The one thing is that Washington, if you look at their last couple of games, I want to take a look. So their offense did score today, but it was late. I just have some concerns here about Jaden Daniels and his ribs. I don't know if there was any update after. Yeah, no update on that. But Brian Robinson did leave, and also Austin Eckler suffered a concussion today. So something there to worth monitoring in that one. I mean, these are both running backs. These, to me, running backs shouldn't really change the line all that much, but kind of, yeah. I mean, I kind of agree here. Market at 5.5 on Tennessee, right there on Pinnacle. Let's look at, yeah, 5.5 on Bookmaker, and where are you? 5.5 with a little bit of juice on Bet Online. So market has kind of moved in Tennessee's direction. If you're getting a +6, that may not be actually a bad bet to pocket right now. Tennessee is, look, they've played a little bit scrappier. They played a little bit feisty. The Minnesota game, they certainly had no reason of honestly even being close to covering that game. But the Chargers, they did kind of hang around in that game. They should have had, instead of a push, they should have had a cover against New England. So the team that's starting, I'm interested in Tennessee in terms of some of the things they've been doing. At least on offense, they've looked a little bit more competent since Levis has come back. He has not looked as bad, but he did have another, I believe, pick six that happened today. If we go ahead, I'm just curious. So this is, again, I'll just do this real quick exercise since we have access to the later week. So let's look at what is Washington's. So Washington, I'm sorry. So Washington has a bye in week 14. Interesting. So 2.5 at the Saints. And what are they on the look ahead against the Eagles? 3.5 at home. And 2.5 at home to the Falcons. So the more I'm kind of looking at this, that -6 definitely does not seem right. So that just seems a little bit off from what we would see from the rest of the market. Now, I am seeing, did this pop up to +5.5? Yeah, if you can get this at +6, I would definitely say go get that now. That's one that I would say is worth going to bet. All right. Moving along, we will get to Texans and Jaguars. I think, did Jacksonville cover? I believe Jacksonville did cover against them this season. So if we go, yes, Jacksonville did cover in that game. 4-2. I guess that's kind of interesting. What was look ahead here? So look ahead. So as of yesterday or this morning, this was 6.5. So this has moved to 6. So little bit of some action coming in on Jacksonville for to bet. Also, Jacksonville coming off a bye. Do we know? I don't think Peterson's been actually fired yet, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like he's still around. Yeah, he's still, yeah. So he is still there. Okay, just had to double check that. I'm like, I thought that was just an absolute foregone conclusion after the Detroit game that he was done. But we got to monitor and see, so what's happening with Trevor Lawrence. So that's kind of my thing. If Lawrence is playing, then I think the Jags may be the bet here, maybe the side. If it's Mac Jones, I just can't back Jacksonville. I have no appetite to do that. I'll add this just because you can see, obviously, to me, this is indicating that market thinks that Lawrence will be playing. Minus 124 you see on Pinnacle. I am going to guess, okay, +6 on Bookmaker, and just a little bit juiced here on Bet Online. So definitely Jags +6. Again, not a very exciting bet, but if you get Lawrence back, you're going to get some value here. That's for sure going to close. I would say probably around 5 or maybe 4.5, but that would be a pretty big move going full point and a half. If we go, keep moving along here. I kind of think Cincy should be a little bit of a bigger favorite. And markets kind of agrees with me. So what was this? So I'm interested to see. So after the Browns game, so the Browns game was the what, 21st? Okay, yeah. That's what I was wondering. So this was 1.5. This moved a point. 1.5 definitely was not correct, and I still think this is probably not correct. Just because I don't really understand, like, I don't know, like, as this is going to be the hardest test for sure for Pittsburgh's defense. I know obviously they played Baltimore, but they all like they own Lamar, at least in recent years. Defensively, I just have some questions on if Pittsburgh's going to be able to. I mean, you're going to be putting Joey Porter Jr., who is by PFF grade one of the worst corners in the league, against uh, probably T. Higgins in this. So I just think Cincinnati has some big advantages, and I mean, is the Pittsburgh offense good enough to kind of go back and forth like the Chargers and the Ravens had did with them? I don't necessarily think so. You kind of see like this is minus 118 on Pinnacle, 2.5. But let's look at. I didn't think this was going to go to 3 yet. Minus. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So to me, Bengals. Bengals have to be the side on this one, and 46.5. Interesting wow, that is a high total. It is 47 juice, so yeah, this is definitely a game that this is showing some good value here. We're seeing 47 really on a lot of the other major sharp books. So and minus 105, very cheap price. So add that to the list in terms of some good bets that we were finding. So actually a lot of good bets so far that I'm seeing in the Week 13 slate. But hey, there's more games that are also coming in for this week as well. So Rams and Saints, we can skip past that because Rams are currently playing. Bucks and Panthers. So +6 on the Panthers. Are the Panthers, so Bucks today closed -6.5 against the Giants, against the Tommy DeVito led Giants. Are the Panthers better than the Tommy DeVito led Giants? So we're going to go back here, right? This is a way for us to quickly kind of compare market ratings. So, okay, Giants 3.5 to Dallas. Panthers, we are seeing obviously +6. What are the Giants? Okay, so Giants is a pick to the Saints. What's the Panthers? 8.5 to Philly. I want to try and see, can we find a common opponent here? So 6. Oh, this is, I mean, by the way, if you're looking for a really good look ahead line, Baltimore -6.5 against the Giants. That's definitely screaming some good value there. Okay, so this is fun. So Panthers are 5.5 at home. So Panthers are 5.5 at home to the Giants. Or sorry, to the Cowboys. Giants are 3.5 on the road to the Giants. Or to the Cowboys. So this is telling me that on one hand, they are, I guess because of division, maybe that's why. But that to me is like at least a full point difference. Like this should be, if we're equaling these teams the same, then this probably should be yeah, this kind of doesn't make sense to me at all. So just based on kind of what I'm seeing here, I'm looking at, okay, market generally might be rating. When did the did the Panthers already? Yeah, the Panthers already played the Saints again. Um, Market might actually be rating the Giants a little bit better, and then the Falcons. Oh, this is good. So yeah, so Giants play the Falcons. They're 5.5 on the road. I believe the Panthers also still have to play the Falcons. Okay, so they got to play Tampa Bay, but 5.5 on the road. So yeah, that's all to say. Coming back to this game against Tampa Bay, it just doesn't really make sense to me that Carolina, if you're going to have Carolina as 5.5 at Tampa, but then they're 6 at home, like, what am I missing? I mean, Carolina is, I mean, it's not like they are going to get somebody back that's going to significantly help them. We did see, yeah, I mean, DJ Johnson did not play. Okay, so they lost the tight end today. If we go back, yeah, I don't know. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I kind of agree. Like, I think Panthers at 6 at home to the Bucks are some value here. It is two buy high teams, right? But 5.5 here on Pinnacle, still 6 on Bookmaker, and but 5.5 on Bet Online. So that's probably where the value would be. Just kind of looking at some of those discrepancies that I'm seeing in some of those future weeks. I don't know. Doesn't to me seem like that line is correct. If which one of those two, the week 17 or the week 13 line is wrong. I think I think they're probably both wrong. I think Tampa probably should actually be 7 or more in week 17, but um, I definitely think that this one is not quite correct. And market would also back me there a little bit. Ravens playing tomorrow, although that's a fun game. Eagles and Ravens. So we'll have to skip past that one. And then we've got two more that we'll quickly go through. So Niners and Bills. Bills, I think they had a bye. So they're coming off a bye for this week. It's hard for me. I mean, this has got to be a kitchen sink game. I do remember that Shanahan, I think, felt pretty good that Purdy is going to play in this. If that's the case, this is one-way traffic towards San Francisco in terms of moving. I think this could be probably like 5.5, right? So to me, it would be San Francisco or nothing in this. I don't think I can quite get there with the Bills. Um, is that game? Let me just reload Penny because I don't know if that line is up yet. Okay. So I think there's a good reason why that line is not here. I think the same thing with Bookmaker. Like, I think they are holding that line a little bit. This is, I mean, you have an offshore, good bet right here at 7. Even you're paying a little bit of juice. So to me, I would say I think the chances that Purdy play are pretty high in this game. And if Purdy plays, you're definitely not getting 6.5. I think it probably goes under 6. I think like 5.5 is probably where this lands. So Niners has got to be to me the look. But if you want to, if you want to wait, you can see. I'm just saying that you're probably going to need to fire on Niners early before that Purdy practice report and news come out. And then we got the Browns and the Broncos. And I did not, okay, so I did not mention this with the Pittsburgh game against the Bengals. They had a extra 3 days of rest, but Bengals coming off a bye. So rest advantage kind of neutered there. The Browns, however, do have their rest advantage. This is going into the Monday night game at Denver. 5.5 is your line for this one. I agree with that. I think that's probably right. Denver was also, I believe, what, 5.5 on the road. So we're basically saying that the Browns are 3 points better than Vegas on a neutral right now. I could quibble about that. I might say they're maybe like two better, but it's not a huge edge that I would see in this one. Um, I mean, in terms of totals, I don't have a really great read on this either. You look at 2024, Denver's been actually a fairly good over team. And if we look at the Jameis starts, relatively overs there too for Cleveland. Although it's just kind of hanging at that 41.5. So if there's any play for me, it would probably be on an over there. But I would say, um, yeah, probably nothing for me on the play for that Monday night game. But definitely, I would lean towards an over. So this so that's our slate for week 13. And I'll just pull up the bet slip here. The ones that I would be looking to play now or to at least like play in the next day. Probably that under of the Giants and the Cowboys. I think that Miami at 3.5. That's probably a solid play there in terms of like if you're playing that certainly at the -110. The Seattle one I really like, and again I just see that one that's already starting to move towards a pick 'em. I think Seattle ends up actually being um, oh, sorry, not towards the pick 'em, but being a little bit bigger favorites. Not -1.5. I could have sworn they're +1.5 when we looked at this. Anyways, Colts and Patriots 42.5 on that. I think that's an over. Drake May, pretty good track record of overs here. You've got Tennessee at +6, Jacksonville at +6. So a couple of these ones that we're seeing for week 13 are going to be dependent on quarterback news, specifically the Trevor Lawrence and the Brock Purdy ones. I think the Purdy one is from, again, everything that we've kind of read and like some of the tea leaves from Shanahan. That one seems to me that's going to be a greater likelihood than Lawrence playing against the Texans, but those are both opportunities there. I think Cincinnati -2.5 is absolutely a smash if you can get that one, especially under -120. Yeah, I'm seeing -110 on BetMGM. That would be a bet for me like right now. Same thing with the over 46.5. Carolina +6, also some good value there. So yeah, a lot of great value, I think, on the board already for week 13. And remember, again, if you want to go to start looking at some even bigger look aheads, like things like such as week 14, 15, that's all available here. I think for college football, that's not going to really work because we are in the final week of college football. But, like Steelers -1 against the Browns. Like, okay, all right. I know that they just lost to the Browns, but that's probably a little bit of an overreaction. So a lot of these lines too, like these are not lines that have been touched. Like they're looking at the upcoming week. Not saying that these are obviously never updated, but like these are lines that are kind of going to be forgotten about. Like Miami -2.5. That probably should be a bigger number. Yeah, that's definitely. I mean, that definitely should be a bigger number there. So taking a little bit of a risk, obviously, with when you're getting into really big look aheads, but especially because of injuries. But if there's something that's like very clearly, obviously wrong, I don't hate at least looking a couple weeks out to start kind of betting that kind of stuff. So with that, that is your week 13 look ahead lines. If you guys want to talk more NFL, talk more bets, you can find me in the Outlier Discord at Slippin Jimmy. And yeah, we've got a ton of good stuff going on in there. A lot of great slip building sessions that you guys can jump into. So make sure to check it out. If you haven't looked or used Outlier, make sure to go check that out as well. It will definitely start making you some money. So thanks, guys, once again, and I'll see you here, same time, same place.